YouTube, do I even need to say it? What is y'all doing? All right, it's been a minute since I dropped a video. I think in the last video I was talking about selling the Volvo truck, and I got good news. I actually sold that truck before I even released that video, actually the same day. But that's not really the point of this video. I'm gonna get into what I made and all that stuff later on in the video. And disclaimer, this is gonna be one of those talking videos, cause I got some stuff I want to discuss. I think it's something good to talk about. So what am I saying right now? Today we are gonna be discussing how to sell things on Facebook Marketplace, primarily cars. I went ahead and took down some notes, a few things that I was thinking about off the top of my head. This is not the holy grail by any means, but I came up with about 7 or 8 rules on, how you should sell primarily a vehicle on Facebook Marketplace. Now this can work for other things, but take it with a grain of salt. You do you. But this is just some of the things that I've learned. I've sold 3 cars on Facebook Marketplace right now, so I'm not seasoned or anything, but just from messing around and dabbling with it, these are some of the things that I've learned. So if you ever get to a point where you want to sell a car on there, this is just my advice on some things. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Now these rules aren't in any particular order. I just threw them all on a list. But starting out, rule number uno. Rule number 1, know what you have. So when I say know what you have, I don't mean that you got to put that in a Facebook post. Nobody cares if you know what you have or not. They're essentially just trying to get what you have, whatever you're selling. You don't need to put that in the post. But knowing what you have is essentially, you need to know the value of what you have, what exactly it is, because people are gonna ask you questions about it and you're gonna have to answer those questions. They wanna know, if you're selling a car, is this a clean title? How many miles are on the car? That sort of thing. How much is the car actually worth? How much, do you think you can get for it? You just need to know what you have before you go posting anything. And this kind of goes into my next point, rule number 2, make a detailed description. Take as many photos as you can. I don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody that uses Facebook Marketplace to look at cars or whatever have came across posts where they are just not descriptive at all. The pictures are blurry. It's like, what are you even selling at that point? And when you do that and you don't really be descriptive, you open yourself up for a lot of questions. People are gonna wanna just message you day and night all the time, asking you things that you've already specified in the post. And if you've already answered these things in the post, then that means that the person looking at buying this didn't actually read about it. So they're asking you questions, which means they're probably not a serious buyer. So don't waste your time with those type of individuals. But just be very descriptive. Take clear photos. You're much likely to sell the car faster and easier when you're, putting out there exactly what it is you're selling, what you have. This is what it looks like. So when people get there to look at the car, they're not surprised. Oh, I didn't know this was here. Oh, just be as descriptive as you can. So when somebody comes to look at it, they know exactly what they're coming to see. Rule number 3. Always set a listing price higher than your bottom dollar. Now, some of these rules might seem kind of like common knowledge to you or whatever, but it really isn't. It's a lot of people out here that don't really know these things. So whenever you post something for sale, especially a car, if for say I sell this car and I'm gonna just throw a random number out, $500. What? I would not post this car at $500. I would post it at maybe $1,000 or $800. Because people, just the mindset of people, they like to feel like they're getting a deal. So the fact that I came and talked to you and got you to come down some feels good in my mind. It makes me more comfortable with the purchase. So it's always good to set an asking price higher than what you're actually, your bottom dollar is, what you're trying to get. Because, it makes the sale transaction a little easier. And 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get what you list a car for. Especially if, you're really firm on your price. People are not going to come and just be ready to give you exactly what you're asking for. That's kind of weird. They want to come talk you down, haggle a little bit. And I think you should give people that, it makes them feel more comfortable with the purchase and makes the car easier to sell. Moving on, rule number 4, This is one of my favorites right here. And I'm gonna drop probably a small screenshot or a snippet right here to show exactly what I mean. But on Facebook, there's a feature. There's actually a button that they can click and it'll just send you a message asking if the car is available. From my experience, do not respond to people that click that button. Anybody who's really interested in buying something from you is probably not gonna click that button. They're probably gonna have something more involved to say, showing that they actually have interest in it. Anybody can just spam that button, and 9 times out of 10, if somebody clicks that button and you respond to it, they're not gonna respond back to you again. People could be hitting it by accident. I don't know what it is, but Facebook really needs to take that button down because they spam it. It's just a terrible feature, and it doesn't help anything. Rule number 5. Make sure the car that you're selling is actually ready to be sold. Now, I know this story that I'm about to tell isn't as much about selling as much as it is buying. Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was going to look at a 1999 Lexus GS300. I went and looked at it and the guy drove it around. Car wasn't worth more than $800 in my opinion. But I went and looked at it and it was just full of crap, you know. And I was like, so if I buy this car right now, what's gonna happen to all of the stuff that you have in here? Strollers, tools. He said, oh, we're gonna have to go to my house and clear it out.
What? That is crazy.
Make sure the car that you're selling is ready to be sold. Wash it up. If the battery needs to be charged, do that. Put some air in the tires. Get it ready to be sold. You know, clean it up. Make sure it's ready to go. All right, so never go out of your way to sell someone else a car. I don't know if you guys remember. If you haven't, go check it out in my video when I actually sold the Infiniti that I was working on. I had a guy contact me and ask me if I could drive the car 4 hours to him, and if it checked out, he would buy it. Obviously, I didn't do that. That's really dumb. But you should never have to go out of your way to sell someone else something that they want. Okay, they should be willing. Anybody that's really interested in buying something is gonna come get it, check it out, do whatever they need to do to make sure that they can get it, have it in their possession. You should never ever feel like you need to do anything more than you want to do to sell somebody a car. In all actuality, you shouldn't even have to come meet them with the car unless you just prefer to do it that way, because they're wanting to buy it. You know, if you want to buy groceries, you go to the store. The store doesn't come to you unless you've already bought the groceries. And 9 times out of 10, nobody's just gonna buy a car that they haven't seen yet off Facebook Marketplace. Rule number 7, first come, first serve. Now, I'm gonna kind of talk about my experience with the Volvo, selling that Volvo truck here a little bit. So I had somebody messaging me like all morning, sometime at night, just messaging me wanting to come look at the car first thing in the morning, just wanting to come get it, check it out, just, you know, sending me all types of messages. I'm like, okay, I'll let you come look at it, you can come buy it. They were saying they were gonna buy it. I think I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday of last week. And I waited for them to come look at the car and they never showed. I ended up blocking that individual. They said that they rode through and they saw the vehicle and they didn't like it or something like that. I'm like, nobody's passed through here, because I was literally sitting in the car the whole time because I was letting the battery charge up. And they pretty much wasted my time. So what that has to do with first come, first serve, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is, don't be concerned about inviting multiple people or let multiple people come and look at the car at once. As I was actually in the process of selling that truck, someone else walked up that I had told could come look at the vehicle, wanting to buy it as well, while I was already with another person that showed up before them that was wanting to buy the truck. And they were like, oh man, you sold the truck and you told us we could come look at it. And I'm like, look, dude, people say they're gonna show up all the time. Like, I'm letting people come look at it. It's first come, first serve. You know that. I'm not holding any cards for anybody. So they were kind of pissed off with me, but like, what do you want me to do in that situation? It's first come, first serve. You know, the best way to handle that is first come, first serve. I can't miss out on money here waiting on you to make a decision. The last rule that I have here is just to be honest. I know that's hard for a lot of people to do. In fact, that's probably one of the hardest rules on this list, the most unpracticed rules, because it's so easy for people to not tell the truth or withhold the truth. I'm as honest as I can be whenever I'm selling a car, because I usually sell them like right in front of my house. And I hate to say I do that, but I do it because my name and address and everything is already on the title. So even if I met them up somewhere at the police station or Walmart or somewhere, they still have my address. So Whether or not I meet them here or there, it really makes no difference. But the thing is, you always want to be honest with people with what you're selling them. I walk away from a deal with a peace of mind knowing that I sold you what you wanted, you know what you're getting into. It's easier for me to sleep at night knowing I didn't sell somebody something that's gonna cause them some heartache and grief. I mean, honestly, you never know what's gonna happen when you sell somebody a car, but I have a peace of mind knowing that I was completely upfront with everything that I knew was wrong with it, and I was okay with selling it to them, and they were okay with purchasing it, and I can move on from the deal. Okay, those are the 8 rules that I have down now. I'm pretty sure I'll think about more in the coming days. But for right now, that's the best advice I can give anybody that's trying to sell things on Facebook Marketplace. So I guess we can talk about the Volvo now. I sold the Volvo Sunday. I got it like, I want to say it was 3 weeks ago now from today. And I paid $900 for the truck. I think it was $1,100 out of the door. I put brakes on it. Put a new front bumper on it, fender. I bought wrap. I think all of this stuff cost me $300. And this might not be very accurate. I might be off like 20 or 40 bucks. So we'll just say I was in, at that point, $1,440. I sold the truck for $1,850. So I made about $400 on the truck. Now, some of y'all saying that's not a lot. First off, I'm gonna say don't despise small beginnings. This is my second time flipping a car, and I made $400. Now, if you invest in cryptocurrency, if you've been investing in the last few weeks, that's more than you made, because it has not been looking good. Trust me, because I own cryptocurrency. I feel like I'm starting to make progress. I'm seeing progress. The only thing about flipping cars for me right now, I don't really have the space for it, because, you know, it's just not a lot of parking over here, and it kind of gets a little nerve-wracking. I think I'm more like the type of person that likes to actually get a project, invest in it, use it, you know, and then decide if I want to keep it or not, as opposed to, oh, I'm getting this specifically to sell. It is what it is at that point. Like, you can't really enjoy it, or you could, but like when I got that Volvo truck, I didn't get that to enjoy. I just got it to maybe make some content on and sell. And that's another thing about it too, is I'm making content on the cars that I'm doing. So I'm getting to learn things about different cars and also make content for you guys. So it was well worth the $400. I pretty much got paid $400 for making y'all a video, or 2 videos about a car. But anyway, that's pretty much what happened with the Volvo. The guy messaged me, came straight to me, cash in hand, showed them everything that was going on. I didn't fix the headlight. The headlight was still busted when I sold it. They didn't care. They said they'd get it fixed and taken care of. And I sold it for $1,850, and I felt like it was a pretty square deal. I needed it gone because I didn't have the space for it, and I wasn't using it. It was literally just sitting on the street, and I was not about to put a dime more money into it. So I got the truck, put brakes on it, made y'all some content, made $400. I think it was pretty good. Some people will tell me, you wasted your time with it. I don't know, to each his own. I'm pretty satisfied with making some money and making content at the same time. So yeah, I'm out of a car right now. I guess I need to be looking for another car to flip. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or find a project car. I actually got some stuff planned for the car that I'm sitting in right now. I'm pretty much ready to throw all this tan interior out of here. Not because there's anything wrong with it, I just don't like the tan interior. So I'm thinking we're gonna start a new segment of swapping the interior of this car to black interior. I've already found a decent amount of pieces. I think it's time to start doing it. So that's probably what we're gonna be doing in the next video. Y'all gotta stay tuned and see how that turns out. If you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna drop another video soon. I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace.